Boom, bada boom, baby. Hey! Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of This Is My Bourbon Podcast. I'm your host, Perry. With me this week, my co-host, the man himself, Eric, the Whiskey Mutant.
Boom, bada boom!
Baby!
Baby! Yeah.
It's not common for me to have a pre-roll for episodes. We got one this week, so.
Yeah, you did. Turned into like the 80s, 90s like comic, the guy that wears like his slick back hair. He's got the big suit on. He's like, hey, baby,
hey, boom, bada boom,
hey. Richard Drix.
I slowly turned into Jack Black, though.
All
right, this is not my scat podcast. I've lost control. If you're here for the first time, thank you so much for sticking around through all of our nonsense at the beginning because, hey, that's just who we are. Hey.
Hey. Bada boom, bada bing. Skip bada boom, pop, pop, pop.
I'm just setting myself up for failure at this point. But if you're here for the first time, thank you so much for checking out the show. Give us a little subscribe if you haven't already. If you're returning and you haven't done so yet, you can leave us a 5-star rating and review on the Apple Podcast app. And then you're going to get entered into a giveaway during the month of January for some samples, a little bit of pairing, and a Zoom tasting with your boys.
A Zumba tasting?
Zumba tasting.
We're going to do Zumba?
We're going to Zumba and taste.
Okay. I'm down with that.
Yeah.
Can you imagine?
The thing is, like, 30 minutes in, you're going to throw up.
I think we can figure it out.
We'll figure it out for sure. Follow us on social media at My Bourbon Pod, at Whiskey Mutant. You can also follow me personally at PRitter1792. You can check out all of our apparel and merchandise at bourbonshop.threadless.com. You can send us questions or comments to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. What else? What am I forgetting?
Patreon.
I'll get there.
Okay.
Subscribe if you haven't. Like the video if you're watching on YouTube. If you want to watch on YouTube, you can head to youtube.com/thisismybourbonpodcast. I go live every Thursday night at 8 p.m. Eric joins me every now and then when he has the availability. I'm just now realizing my water bottle's in the shot.
It's a nice water bottle.
It is, but I'm not giving Corksicle any free promo.
Sponsor us.
They gotta pay for that, man.
Let's get sponsored.
Hashtag not a sponsor, Corksicle.
Yeah. But if you want to be a sponsor,
hit us up in the DMs. Do whatever you want to.
Yeah.
But yeah, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast for as little as $1 a month. For as little as $5 a month, you get bonus content, including our brand new 6-week series, Mutant Madness Training Day.
With Denzel Washington.
Featuring Denzel Washington.
Yeah.
So
I get this guy ready for March.
Exactly. I'm getting ready for Matt Madness. Needed to take some time and taste through some things. I think I did pretty well this week.
Yeah.
We got lots of room for improvement, though. But after that, we're going to come back with some Pours from the Floor.
Yeah.
Season 4.
It's building up again, man.
Yeah.
I'm just about to explode.
You're getting the eyes, aren't you?
Yeah.
Yeah, I believe it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything's going blue, and I'm just like, I got to get rid of this. Help me.
Don't tell Pete. Oh, Pete, go away. You can also check out the pregame chats over on Patreon. Those are bonus episodes that come out every week before the main episode, the Tuesday before. And yeah, we had a good time this week. Eric got to taste through the Holly Hill Inn bourbon tasting kit, bourbon
lots of
pairing
good little
kit.
snackies in
Lots
there.
of good stuff. I also tasted through those on my live stream last week on YouTube. So if you want to go check that out as well. And you should have the audio version in the podcast feed now too. So we are starting this week's episode out because last week we did Flying Blind. We're doing Sips and Snacks this week. And there's a big reason why we're doing this Sips and Snacks. And you've probably seen already what we're reviewing. But in traditional Timbit fashion, when we kick something off, apparently, with a pretty basic introduction to things, we turn right back around and we do the thing that people cannot get the most.
Yeah. Yeah, this is just all sorts of it just is a filler with Weller episode.
We're all over the place, brother. And this is I got some Weller 12 we'll probably get into here in a bit, but we are starting out with pairing a bit of Weller Special Reserve with I don't know what.
That's a fork. It's not a handheld snack. So you asked me, you're like, have you ever paired Weller Special Reserve?
I did ask that.
And I looked back, and I had way back when, but the last thing I paired with Weller Special Reserve was a Bang energy drink. And I was like, I ain't doing that on the podcast. For one, I don't need any more. I don't need any more caffeine today. Oh, whatever.
I love that.
So I went to.
You want a Bang?
Do you want a Bang?
I'm good right now.
Okay. One of the most.
Not with you either. Look, you already licked my sucker.
Yeah, and you liked it.
I didn't like the noises.
Well, that's just what comes with the territory, baby.
Yeah, fair enough.
Anyway.
I'm not a noise guy.
So, this... I love noises.
It depends.
It's good feedback.
Not those. Not that.
So, this snack pretty much goes with any Weller product. Any Weller product... Any wheated bourbon. If you don't have Special Reserve, grab some Pappy 15. If you don't have Pappy 15, grab some Maker's Mark. It'll go with it all, man.
What about some Larceny?
Larceny, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe like one Larceny barrel.
Makers, but not Larceny.
Yes. Or
that's really funny to me.
Or Van Winkle. Or an Old Fitz like 12. Anyway.
Oh, goodness gracious.
So I've got us a strawberry shortcake.
Oh, my gosh. I've had this recently.
Yes.
Where did I have this?
Probably at my house the other day.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
I love this thing so much.
You had it at Friendsgiving, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
I paired Weller with one of the Little Debbie strawberry shortcakes.
Ooh, okay.
And I was like, I want to up it a little bit with like more of a cake thing because I think it will soak it up a little bit more. So I went to Kroger in the bakery and I got us a little bit of strawberry shortcake.
Nice.
And I'm going to do my best not to make noises as much in the microphone today.
I appreciate you.
I need a knife or something. Or not a plastic knife. Here, give me these.
Well, here, I got my pocket knife. It's my grandfather's pocket knife. That's a...
I opened the wrong side. I know.
You're doing great, buddy.
I know. I always do great. I never said I knew what I was doing.
You're killing it.
But I try hard.
Wait, did you not get 2 forks?
Yeah, there's one in here.
Oh, okay. You can lick my sucker, but you can't share a fork with me.
I'll spoon with you, though.
That's fine. This thing looks spongy.
Yes, that's why we got to do a pour over on this.
Oh, well, yeah, of course we're going to do a pour over, but I'm going to acclimate myself to this first. I feel like we might have had this at Eden's birthday, too. I don't remember.
It's worth getting all the time.
It's so light.
Oh, yeah, baby.
It's light, but it's got a lot of flavor to it.
And the strawberry in it is kind of tarty, too. And it, like, offsets the... So, you did a pour over. Let me do my little pour over here.
I think I did too much.
Yeah, you can't go full pour over.
Yeah, because all I got was alcohol. Not even like bourbon, just alcohol.
Just a little.
Yeah.
It amplifies the strawberry, but it does something to the vanilla. It like makes it like more buttercreamy. Maybe that's a little bit of spice in there.
Oh. Yeah, there it is. That's really good, man. And I wanted to give us a chance to acclimate our palates to the Weller flavor profile.
Right. Man, this is good.
I mean, we are going to like ramp it up right to 11 by the time we get to the review. But that being said, it's still a wheated bourbon.
It is.
So it's the same wheated bourbon. It's just younger and lower proof. But he also, so I didn't even say this. So the samples that we got in the mail were sent to us by our dear friend Tony Bagadonuts.
Not Tony Pursuit, the
Not Tony
fourth
Pursuit.
member of a Bourbon Pursuit, the third member of Pursuit United. He's just the guy in the background that does everything.
Yeah. You don't know anything about him.
No.
But he sent us the William Larue Weller Antique Collection from 2022, 124.7 proof. We'll get into that. But he also sent, and I think this is because you and I both said recently, we've never had the Weller single barrel before.
Oh, is that the orange label?
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Never had it. So we got some of that to get into as well. But we'll get into things shortly. But before we do that, I got to ask you, what have you been drinking recently?
Since just the other day.
Since Monday.
Not a lot.
Yeah, we doubled up on recording this week. That's just kind of how it goes.
I will say that something I didn't mention last episode that's still fresh on my mind that I enjoy. We went to the new Whiskey Bear.
Yeah.
And had some food, and I got to try both of their Yellowstone picks. There was two, one's different proof. And I've not had much Yellowstone, I will say. But I thoroughly enjoyed the picks. And they were very different. Like,
okay.
Even though they had two, the proof was a little different, but the taste was, one was sweet and one was like bakery. And I was eating pizza with it, and it was phenomenal.
Nice.
So it made me want to try more Yellowstone picks. I don't know. I've not even really had much of the Yellowstone like limited releases or whatever they are.
It's so good, man.
But I am down with some Yellowstone picks right now. They have an RD1 pick that just came out too.
Nice.
So I need to go back up there and try that.
I saw at Liquor Barn the other day that they have an RD1. They have a few RD1 picks, actually. They had, I think, one at like 100 proof, and then a couple that were over 120. So
120.
Yeah. So I think you can guess which one I would go for, but still, I'm curious.
Let me
think. Take a wild shot in the dark. Well, I've had an interesting.
Yeah, you and your stupid pictures making everybody jealous.
Yeah.
Oh, look at me.
So I'll kind of work my way up, but I was in Liquor Barn last weekend. I totally forgot to bring this up too on this week's episode, or last week's episode, excuse me. But I was standing in line, getting ready to check out, and I look on the counter, and they had, which I have seen before, or seen a picture of before, but I never actually have seen in person. Those 4-pack bottles of the Goose Island Bourbon County Stouts.
Yeah.
They're not the pints. There's, like a regular beer bottle. Mm-hmm. I was like, well, of course I'm going to get them.
Yeah.
So I did. I actually had one last night. This was just such a great year. Last year was such a great year for Bourbon County. But then I also went to this restaurant in Frankfort, Kentucky. I'm not going to name it because I'm holding this one a little bit close to the vest. So I go in for lunch and I'm like, I'll just sit at the bar. I'm by myself. And I look behind the bar and they've just got like an early 2000s bottle of Turkey 101 sitting back there in line with all of their regular pours, like all the modern bottles and everything. Cork's broken. They replaced it with a wine cork and everything. And they also have an old bottle of Rare Breed. I'm like, that's crazy. And I'm starting to think like, surely they've got a separate menu for their
old stuff,
dusty pours and whatever. Oh no, they were pricing them at what market value is today.
Let me do a timeout right now.
Okay. Well, I didn't even say how old the rare breed was, but I'll get to that in a second.
Oh, finish. Go ahead.
Well, it was from 1996.
Jesus. Okay, this timeout.
Almost as old as I am.
Perry is not one to like. He's not one to like drop the mic and be like, "Look what I got" or something. I'll just throw shit out there all the time, be like, whatever. But this is how I know that Perry is trying to flex, because Perry did not send me a personal message and said, "Dude, look what I got. This is crazy." He went straight for the group chat and just dropped these bombs right in the group chat, like, "Look what I got for $7 right now," pouring up big pours of it. That's how you know Perry was in the mode and he was ready to flex. He dropped it straight into a group that's just hounds. They're thirsty, they're hounds, and he knew that they would go for the bite. People were like, "Give me a pour." Like, you're really asking Perry to get a pour from a bar and sent to you?
Now, the thing is, too, I was asking if they would sell them to me by the bottle.
And somebody immediately replied, "Well, if you can, get me some too." Like, y'all thirsty, okay? Okay, group chats are thirsty.
Oh, I loved it.
Yeah, that's amazing.
But yeah, so it was $8 for the 101, and it was $14 for the rare breed. I was just in heaven, man.
What'd you eat?
Salmon croquettes.
Okay.
With an appetizer. An appetizer of fried oysters.
That's the most wild.
It was crazy, dude.
And dusty turkey.
And dusty turkeys.
You're a mutant. You're a whiskey mutant.
I was having a really good day. Wow. It was a good time.
I'm anxious to see if you go back and that stuff's still there. You just finish. Just keep going back and just finish it. Finish the bottles.
I might, honestly. I mean, I even was like, "Hey, if you'll sell me the rest of the bottle, I'll buy it right now in a to-go cup."
Yeah, they did that.
I was dead serious too, man.
Yeah, well, there for a while, all the restaurants were doing the thing where they seal the to-go alcohol and all that stuff. You bastard!
I'm still waiting for the text back on whether or not they can sell them to me by the bottle. So we'll see. We'll see. I also, while I was in Frankfurt, I stopped by Capital Cellars. Tried their Matty Gaddon pick from Spirits of French Lake.
Matty Gaddon, like Armageddon?
No, it's their high rye bourbon.
Oh, okay.
And it was really freaking good. A lot of like bacon notes, bacon spices in it, and picked up a bottle of Curly while I was there too. Single barrel number 5.
5,
which I hadn't seen anywhere.
I don't think I've seen anything under 10.
No, that was the first one that I'd seen under.
I think we had a 12, I think.
I can't remember off the top of my head, but I was like, yeah, I need to
go. You're in Frankfurt. Did you get any blends, Buffalo Trace or anything?
No, I did not stop by Buffalo Trace. My time when I'm in Frankfurt is a little limited.
And bourbon cream?
No, I didn't. I didn't check that Facebook group.
Did you go say hi to Freddie or anything?
I didn't have a chance to. I'm telling you, man. I was on a mission when I was in Frankfurt. Well, you want me to pick up vodka for you now?
Sure.
You're a bourbon drinker.
I want to age it, make it bourbon.
It's just going to taste like underage white dog.
Horrible. I mean, what it is.
What's the proof of Wheatley?
80 or 70, I think. Hold on. I have some at the house because that's the vodka we use when April makes like martinis.
Yeah, it's so you can get your allocation of BTAC every year.
It's so I can make reels and TikToks with it, honestly. Wheatley vodka. What is your proof? 82 proof. Not bad, right?
No, I would have thought it was higher than that.
I would have thought it was lower.
Well, you're not really going to get any.
This is my vodka podcast.
Oh.
That was a long one.
Sorry.
That's all right.
I had further to fall.
Yeah, you were way.
I'm a little taller than you are. Sorry, we're back. Things got crazy there for a second. So I wanted to take some time and talk about Weller bourbon.
Weller bourbon
together. Because I know that there is this stigma around Weller.
Yeah.
Of course. The people are just like, oh, it's, the best bourbon and it's my go-to and yada, yada, yada.
But then there's the people that are like, it's shit. Like, I ain't going to wait in line for that. It's too hopped and all that.
So where do you fall in that? And knowing full well what your answer is, where do you kind of fall in that?
I fall
on that spectrum.
I fall in the middle because I think it's for what it is probably one of the best wheated bourbons to me. I don't think that it has to be only bought on secondary. If you've never, as far as the price goes, if you've never had it and you're like, I really want to get a bottle of OWA, go for it.
Yeah.
Get on your groups, whatever, do what you want to get it. But as far as like a well-rounded, like, what am I trying to say? Like a brand or like a group of bottles going from Special Reserve, OWA, Full Proof, and so on.
Yeah.
I think if you have it and you got it, just your store had some in, here you go. There is no reason you get that bottle, open it up, and be like, oh, this just isn't worth it. I think it is one of the, if not the best wheated bourbon, especially 107.
Yeah. Here's my thing, though. And I don't know if it's just that this is where I am with my bourbon drinking or what. I think pound for pound, the best wheated bourbon on the market right now is Maker's Cast Strength.
Okay. I can say, I love Maker's Cast Strength.
Yeah.
I will not.
It is. Well, oh gosh, I didn't even think about this. It's now cheaper than Antique 107 is.
Yeah.
Right? Because they had that recent price hike over the past couple of years up to $50.
Yes.
Which is insane.
Yeah,
for that bottle.
Back in the day, it was $30.
Yeah. Yes, with Maker's Cask, you're really getting just a couple of proof points higher. But I think it's just a better tasting bourbon.
I think you honestly, too, you get a little more uniqueness on Maker's Cask
completely
because
agree.
they will change the proofs
agree.
and all that. Weller is pretty, I won't lie, it's pretty standard across. It's...
Yeah.
Unless it's a pick, I think if you buy a bottle of 107 and then a year later you're like, oh, there's another bottle, you get it. You know exactly what you're getting. It's going to be the same thing. It's going to taste the same. At least that's in my experience.
Yeah.
And I think Special Reserve is great for 90 proof.
Yeah. But Special Reserve will always be to me, and this is something that my best friend from middle school, Austin,
y'all were drinking Special Reserve in middle school?
Not in middle school. Oh, okay. No. He might have been. I wasn't.
Okay. Good boy over here.
He was that kind of kid, though. He planted this seed in my brain, and I've never been able to kind of get over it. Special Reserve, no matter what it becomes, will always be, or no matter what kind of hype is around it, it will always be a $20 bottle of bourbon.
Yeah. I see what you're saying.
So I think that it is going to continue to have this like general tone of like, this is good, but it's not worth paying $50 for. It's not what, and like, so I've over on top of the fridge,
vodka.
There's some vodka up there. But there is a bottle
Blanton's.
of Special Reserve. Blanton's is empty.
Okay. I see it.
I got that at Buffalo Trace. Just because they had it. And I was like, well, I can either drink this, I've got, more Special Reserve, or I can hold on to it for some kind of trade bait. And like, I hate to, play into the secondary market or whatever.
But it's not like, it's not.
Nobody report me.
Yeah. He's not the problem. It's me. But what I'm saying is
the first step.
Yeah. To admitting the truth. And the second step is just blasting everybody.
Posting it on Instagram.
But I think Special Reserve is good to trade with just friend. Like, it doesn't have, you don't have to send it to, it's like somebody that's getting into bourbon or something. They've never had it. You're like, oh, you want to trade this for that? Or you want to have the, like, I don't know. Like, I think it's just, out of all the Weller products, it should be just on the shelf like Maker's Mark.
No, 100%. I completely agree. And I think that, too, like, for a lot of people, it winds up being almost as coveted. And again, this goes back to the conversation about it being a $20 bottle, no matter how you slice it. It winds up being something that people almost covet as much as Blanton's. And so it becomes like a good birthday present or a good Christmas present. Right. Now, all that being said, I have no problem against gifting Special Reserve. It's a solid bourbon.
You can gift me Special Reserve for my birthday.
Well, it's going to somebody else.
Oh. Damn it.
Their birthday was yesterday.
Okay.
Yeah. Anyway.
Birthday's in August.
Yeah.
Big ass August.
That's not here yet.
Big ass Weller August.
We're getting closer and closer every day, man.
All right.
It's exactly how time works. Anyway. But yeah, it's just a weird state of mind for this bottle that is consistently unavailable.
Yeah.
But doesn't need to be.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't need to be so absent from store shelves. And I was kind of hoping that we would see Special Reserve return in the way that we have Buffalo Trace. Same distillery and everything. But, I mean, it's not as uncommon anymore to walk into a liquor store and find Buffalo Trace on the shelf.
Yeah.
3 or 4 years ago, it was impossible.
I mean, a year ago, it was impossible.
A year ago, yeah, you're right. But that period of adjustment, that period of Buffalo Trace trying to, understand what was happening with the market and pump out product the way that they needed to, it was weird and it was frustrating. And, and I think that they got such a bad name during that time because for better or worse, Buffalo Trace is probably the most famous distillery or one of the most popular distilleries amongst people who want to really make that leap into getting into bourbon.
Yeah. I won't disagree on that.
And I'm not saying it's the best bourbon out there. That's a very subjective thing. I think it's all very personal.
Products from Buffalo Trace just are so, I mean, they're hopped up. They are hard to get. And when you get into it, you start seeing people posting those and you're like, oh man, I really want to try that. And you realize, hey, I can't just go get this. So yeah, they start being the most wanted bourbons. And then you kind of try them and you realize you can get alternatives and stuff like that. I hate seeing when somebody's like, got a 107, but I mean,
if anybody's got anything,
I was just disappointed in it. Like, this ain't worth anything. Like, boy, I'll take a 107 all day.
But here's the thing. So much of that is based on just what you think. And I'm not arguing with you necessarily, but so much of that is just based on what you like and what you prefer to drink.
That's true.
I mean, if you're coming into it having had, I don't know, as an extreme example, Pappy 23 or Old Forester birthday bourbon or something like that.
This is the cheap Pappy or whatever.
But just, your view is going to be so skewed.
Yeah.
Based on your experience with it. And I think that's why it does get so much popularity with newer bourbon drinkers and with people who are kind of in the know, but are still like on that like edge of making the final leap to being a bourbon person.
Yeah.
You know, it's common to find people who love it or like it or want it. But I don't think it's uncommon to also find critics of it.
Yeah.
For better or worse.
Yeah.
Again. But that being said, like I went through this period late last year, and I talked about it a little bit on the podcast, where I kind of did a 180, maybe not a 180, maybe like a 90-degree turn.
360.
Back. I just turned right back around to where I was.
360 kickflip. Yep.
Yep.
You're like, oh, I'm back.
Where I started being like, you know what? There are some tater bottles that I really do enjoy, and I want to find them again.
Yeah.
And when I started this new job, and I mean, like, first paycheck, I was like, I'm buying a Weller 12. I'm buying Weller 12. Nobody can tell me yes or no.
Yeah.
I made up my mind, and that's it. And part of that too, it was just me going, well, I haven't had this in a while. I haven't had this in my collection for a while. So I wanted to pull something.
Pull it out.
I wanted to pull something out.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, pull it out. Show it off.
Got to every now and then. With that in mind.
Oh, baby.
Let's have some Weller 12.
Nice.
This bottle, I feel like I have nostalgia for it, but my nostalgia is so limited because I haven't been in this as long as other people have.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I never had a squat bottle of 12 year. I always wanted a squat bottle of 12 year, but they go for like $700 or something on secondary now. So
that poor.
All that in mind, I mean, I was over the moon the first time I got a Weller 12 bottle. I just think this is an excellent bourbon.
It is.
I just think it's so good, man. I know that hey, cheers, dude.
It's just so. It's just this sweet cherry oak and like vanilla.
It reminds me of when I was first getting into bourbon and the like figuring out what I liked and being introduced to higher aged products and
like when you first were like, I get a note. Like, you know what I mean? Like, moment when you're like, oh, I do smell cherries or something like that. You know, like it's so nostalgic because it is like, it reminds me too of like, oh, that's one of the notes that I actually figured out how to get. Like,
and
I'm a nerd.
Yeah, it's not like it reminds me of when I was young.
No.
It's just it reminds me of when I was in the early stages of my bourbon drinking.
Yeah, oh man,
development.
Simpler times too. You go from Wild Turkey Honey to Weller 12. It's like, oh
my gosh.
Dude.
That's freaking delicious.
So good.
It's so good.
So good. It is just so good. And I don't care. And like I said before, one of my things this year is like, I ain't going to judge anybody on where or how much they paid or anything. If it's a good pour, it's a fucking good pour, and that is.
I bought it on secondary.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know where you got that. I remember. I'm just saying.
But you remember. I'm part of the problem.
Yeah, we both are. But
sorry about you.
But it's just yeah. Weller 12, so good,
man. Do you think that Buffalo Trace is doing too much with the Weller brand now?
Yes.
Why?
Because I think
I'm playing devil's advocate and trying to tease out an answer here.
Well, I think there's too many similarities to what they're putting out. You're putting out picks of OWA. You're putting out picks of Foolproof, and then you're putting out a single barrel That's a 90-some proof thing. They used to even have picks of Special Reserve. Like, I don't see the reason. I'm not going to say that it's bad or good because I've not had it, and we obviously got a sample. But I don't know. I don't see the reason for having a single barrel product in the Weller line when you're still getting single barrel picks of everything. Yep. And I know that a lot of stuff is like, here's a single barrel, but here's a single barrel pick. I don't know. You've already got Special Reserve, Weller 12, OWA, Full Proof, WLW.
But how is that any different? Again, playing devil's advocate, and I'm not defending anybody.
CYPB, all that. That's what's good.
How is that any different from what Barton does or Turkey does? Or, I mean, even with Blanton's. You know what I mean?
Oh, where it's a single barrel, but they also have a pick. They also have picks of it.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Like, I think the single, like Blanton's, that's their normal product. Now you're getting a pick of it. So, to me, Weller Special Reserve is kind of their normal Weller, and then you move up in proof and stuff like that. Like, this is not like, this is adding a whole nother expression. I just don't think it's needed. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, I think they have a core group of products that is good just the way it is.
Yeah.
I just don't think they're needed to add anything else in there.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a good answer or not. But
no, I
think what they got is good. You add the picks to it, and you're set. Save me some of that single barrel. Put it in something else. Yep. Give me some more bottles of Weller 12 or Special Reserve or whatever.
Yeah. I did just pour a little bit of this single barrel, too.
Oh.
Again, the orange label single barrel.
Pumpkin Weller?
Pumpkin spice Weller. Now, again, I've never had this.
I haven't either. No. Have I had one? I don't know. If I did, it was probably at Whiskey Weekend, and I was too far gone to even know.
That's totally fair. I don't even think I've had CYPB.
I have had CYPB. I know that was at Whiskey Weekend one time.
If I have, it's been a long time ago, and it was in the midst of so many other bottles that there's no way I can remember.
One year was better than the other of the ones that I had. See, this smells off to me.
Yeah, it doesn't smell right.
Do we know the age on these?
Even Special Reserve smells better. I would imagine that it's probably around 7 or 8 years old.
See, this doesn't even smell like a Weller product. We had Special Reserve, we had 12, and this doesn't smell like anything. Larceny is better than that, and you know how I feel about Larceny. That's
not good.
That's an inky finish. You know what I mean? Marker finish, inky.
Yeah.
I don't like that. See, if all the Weller single barrels are like that, appreciate Tony for sending this. No, that's nothing to him.
Well, he didn't make it.
No. But I'm glad I got to try it. But man, like you said, I think Special Reserve is better than this one.
I mean, what? This is a $65 bottle of bourbon or something like that?
Supposed to be.
I think the finish is okay.
The finish is what I don't like the most.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I start to get some like toasted graham crackers on it.
I get
a lot of cherry.
I get stale cherry on the nose. Kind of like it could be amplified, but it's not. But I get a marker. I get like a Sharpie on the finish.
Yeah.
There's something off about that.
Not a fan. Wow.
Interesting.
Now, that being said, I mean, this is a single barrel.
Yeah. So, yeah.
This is a single barrel, so there could be better ones out there. I'm imagining that there are better ones out there, or else they would just have, canceled the whole deal.
Yep.
But all that being said, not a good single. Oh.
Yeah, I don't like that.
The marker is like more and more prominent. Can I have a little bit of your Liquid Death? Is there?
There's enough.
Okay. I won't steal too much.
Oh, you're fine.
Not a sponsor, but
I wish. Sponsor us.
Liquid Death, man.
Man. Yeah, that's markery. That's a markery of a bourbon.
Oh.
Go back to the 12 now.
Okay. You don't have to tell me twice.
How much better that is.
There we go.
Yeah.
I needed something to like fix my palate.
That's well to do it.
And I mean,
ain't it funny?
It only makes sense.
Yeah, it's funny that we go from Basil Hayden to WLW 2022.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's what I was saying, that in typical Timbip fashion.
Isn't this how it went originally?
This is exactly how, this is like we are starting off a reboot of the show with the exact same plot lines that we had originally. It was unintentional, but I figured that it was purposeful at this point for a couple of reasons. One, this is a pour that we didn't get to try in 2022. Don't know whether or not it would have made it onto our top 10 list. And we'll probably talk about it a little bit too once we get into things. But on the second episode of the show, the second episode, we reviewed the 2017 William LaRue Weller.
What was your first review?
Well, the first episode we did a blind flight of bottled and bonds.
So just
cheap bottled and bonds.
Yeah.
Like bottles that were under $20.
Right. Y'all had a whole bottle of that WLW too.
Yeah, we did. That was actually found by Swan. And we split it between the three of us, Curtis, Tanner, and I.
He should be the bourbon founder or something. He should do that stuff. So keeping with our new tradition that we've done one time.
It's so oily.
I reached out. Oh, I got it in a Fred Minute glass too.
Hey.
I reached out to get our non-bourbon drinkers review of WLW. Now, this is WLW from 2021, but still, I feel like this is as close as we can get to a non-bourbon drinkers review. So, we're going to go all the way up into Canada.
Oh, Whiskey Morgue.
But not Whiskey Morgue.
Oh, Andrew West?
No, it's in Whiskey Morgue's house. It's the lady that keeps Whiskey Morgue on check.
His lady?
His lady, Mal.
Oh, well, duh, that makes sense.
Yeah. No,
I'm an idiot.
His nanny.
I'm an absolute dummy.
Whiskey Morgue's nanny.
His keeper, his caretaker.
Oh, this is Mal. She makes cookies.
Yes.
She is not a regular bourbon drinker. She likes to smell Whiskey Morgue's junk. I mean, his stuff. What? Cookies, carrots, chemistry. That's Whiskey Morgue's wife.
Yes.
She makes beautiful cookies. Great person, fun.
Yeah, I don't want to smell it yet.
So I reached out. I knew Whiskey
nervous.
Morgue had a WLW. So she did a proper tasting and wrote her notes down, and this is what we got.
Okay, here we go.
Nose, cherry Coke, vanilla, candy sweetness. Palate, oak, nutty, char, spicy, taste old and musty.
Old and must. Last year's Weller?
Yeah.
Do you remember it tasted old and musty?
No.
I don't either.
Hey, but that's her though.
Yeah, that's fair.
So
I'm not saying you're wrong by any means, Mal.
and I asked Mal, I was like, what would you pay for this? And she said max 150 Canada. I don't know. How close is that to?
Oh, that's like 25 US. No, I'm just kidding.
It's like $2.
No, that's like 125 American, I think.
Yeah. So that's
Something
what
like that.
That's what she thinks based on her review that she would pay for that.
Nice.
So yeah, go follow Cookies, Carrots, Chemistry for some great cookie art, cookie pairings. I mean, look at these cookies. Look,
oh my gosh! Look at the Pokemon ones. Yeah. She did Art the Clown.
Yeah.
What the crap, dude?
Yeah, she's awesome. And she has to put up with the Whiskey Morgue.
What is it? Cookies,
Carrots, Chemistry. Mike's a job in himself, just taking care of him.
I was their 860th follower.
Oh my God. The color
and
on this
the oil. I really like this new phone.
Perry's got a new phone.
I got the 14 Pro Max, and it's ridiculous, dude.
Pro Maxi Pad.
I've never had a phone this nice or this big before.
Yeah.
It's crazy. I haven't even tested out the camera yet.
Well, mine's a 13, and the camera's really good, so I'm sure it's improved a little bit. Here, just take a picture of me.
What? You want me to do portrait or?
I don't care. It's your phone.
They've got different zoom options for.
They got 0.5.
No, they've got 1, 2, and 3.
Oh, see, I don't know that. I do the one. The kids love doing the one where it makes your forehead look big and you hold it in a funny spot. It's like 0.5. If you put it on 0.5, and then hold it like in a weird.
Oh,
angle.
you mean like that?
Yeah, that's the one. That's the one.
Yeah, I get it. All right. Anyway, sorry. This is not a review of the iPhone 14 Pro Max.
Man, so this was Fred's.
This was Fred's number one, so it's appropriate.
Fred Minute glass.
He's drinking out of the Fred Minute show.
Scott.
You kind of got it the wrong way.
I know. I'm just turning it.
Okay. Did you get it tangled up in your
a
headphone?
Little bit? It'd be all right.
Yeah. Okay.
If Fred can do it, I can do it. Fred was such a good sport when I called him Freddie Minnick.
Dude, he freaking loved that. He even texted me. Did I tell you that?
I think you just said Fred loved it or something.
He texted me and he was all about it.
All right. Okay.
I was worried that he was gonna like take it a little bit.
I mean, he likes guar
too seriously.
All right.
He does like guar.
Okay, here we go. Cheers.
Dink it.
First, I barely even smelled this thing. I thought I was smelling that strawberry shortcake. Oh. Strawberry shortcake and fudge?
Oh my gosh.
A fudge drizzle on a strawberry shortcake?
I will say there is a little bit too much ethanol on the nose.
Oh, I don't know. I don't get a lot. What's the proof on this? 127 or something?
124.7.
It's soft but heavy, if that makes sense.
No, I totally agree. I think there's a lot of softness, but there's so much softness that it makes it dense.
Yeah. Oh.
It's a dense nose, but there is a lot going on with it that feels very light and airy. It's just the combination of it all. And it also smells dusty.
Yeah. What's 12, 15?
12, yeah, 12. I think.
Say what now? That's an experience.
Whoa. Dare I say creme brulee?
I can see that.
But it's dry, too.
It's very dry.
It's quite dry.
What is that? I mean, that's just... I'll echo Mal on her 2021 review. That is like cherry Coke, but I'll say there's vanilla. It's like vanilla cherry Coke in like a float with ice cream. It dries you out, but you're ready for more.
That finish is bonkers long. I mean, it goes for a really, really long time.
I hate this. Not the bourbon.
No, I know.
I hate that I don't have this. I really do.
This would have been a top 10.
This may have top.
This wouldn't have been number 1.
No.
I don't even know if it would have been top 5. Maybe number 5.
I would have edged Russell's 13 out with this.
I don't know. I feel like I like the Russell's 13 better.
I do. I like it a lot. I don't know. There's something about, I don't know. It's the finish maybe. Maybe it's the note. I don't know. I think I would have pushed back a little bit. I mean, it's high proof Weller 12, man. Like, it's just like, it's everything good about Weller 12 just amped up to like barrel proof. It's cherry, it's strawberry, it's vanilla.
That was my second sip. I hadn't had a second sip yet. Right?
I don't know.
Maybe I had.
I'm in a world right now. I'm in Willy Wonka's like strawberry shortcake room, and me and Grandpa are taking bites that we're not supposed to, and we're just laughing and playing, and then all of a sudden, like, the thought of not having this makes me start floating up into a fan, and then I'm going to get sliced. And I'm like, oh no, Grandpa, we got to get back down.
The limited availability of this is the imminent fan death.
Yeah. And they're like, no. But somehow Charlie, like, he ends up getting the factory in the end, but I'm not going to inherit Buffalo Trace in the end of this, so.
Yeah. There's a meme in that. I'm going to have to make that meme.
Oh, you can meme me softly with WLW, baby. That's so good.
I'm missing something, though.
What are you missing? Just grab that sample from last year and compare it.
I don't know where it is exactly.
I don't even think we had any left.
Yeah, I think we might have finished it.
Yeah.
I think that it's a little too bitter oaky.
Bitter oak? Okay.
Like, I'm missing. There's always this like creamy vanilla sweetness that comes with the WLW.
I think I'm getting
that I'm missing.
I think the bitterness that you're getting is what I probably thought was the fudge. Maybe it's the chocolate that I was saying it was drizzled on there. I could see that. I think it kind of adds to it. The finish is great. I think it dries out just a little too much.
Yeah.
If I'm going to put a negative thing on it, it's a little too drying. But I go back and I'm like, oh yeah, it's good.
I'm midway between liking and loving this. I'm infatuated with this, but I haven't yet made the leap over to loving this.
Yeah.
You know what I want to try?
What do you want to try?
I want to try adding a drop of water to this, which is not something that I normally do. Do you want to join me?
Let me do something here.
Okay.
I will join you.
Okay.
I'm just going to save. I'm going to do this.
For comparison?
Yeah.
I think I've gotten all that I need out of the... Oh, crap.
It's all right. Probably tastes like Weller 12 now.
Probably. But I think I've gotten all I need out of, like, the base version of it, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah. I got all I need. I just don't want it to end. I just want to keep floating in the air, and I don't want to get chopped up.
The water saved it for me.
I think, I still like this.
Smell. I think I put too much water in yours.
Oh, yeah. You got... Mine smells almost like 90 proof.
So yours probably is closer to a Weller 12.
Yeah. That smells like... It dropped it down to like 110, but brought out something in it.
That's what's up.
Well,
Weller 12, or excuse me, WLW with a drop of water in it.
The fact that I can drink this at its barrel proof, and the fact that I can smell that with a drop in and say that smells good, and the fact that I can drink it with a big scooch of water in it.
Sorry.
And love it all. Like, yeah. God, it's good bourbon.
I feel like you're going to give this a much higher score than I am.
I mean, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah. I'll tell you right now, though, that finish is unlike anything I've ever had before.
Finish is amazing.
The finish is ridiculous.
Yeah.
I mean, I almost got to the point where I started counting the seconds of how long the finish was going for. You know what I mean?
I don't know, dude. I love WLW. The ones I've had, I've always loved them. It's such a great bourbon. It sucks. It's hard to get when you can't get it. It's very expensive on secondary. But to have a sample, thank you, Tony.
Oh, Tony, thank you so much,
amazing man.
buddy.
And whatever you did to get this, it was well deserved. I feel like Tony just says, hey, he just yells at his door and says, hey, I need this. And people just throw it at him. He's like, oh, yeah, I got that.
They load it up in a slingshot and they're like,
oh, Tony's requesting something? We got you, boy.
4.
Yeah. Yeah, he's always like, oh, yeah. I need to go see his actual collection. I kind of would like to do something maybe for Patreon, and I'm totally taking the idea of the Bourbon Junkies, but I'm giving them credit for it, and they do a thing where they people send in the collection and they like compare it. Have you seen that? They've done that before. I don't know if they do it much anymore. They used to, like, people would send them pictures of their collection. They'd be like, oh, you got a good collection.
Oh, yeah.
But if it was like Patreon only, like Patreon sends us a picture of their collection and we like look at it and stuff. We just look at it. I don't know. I just like seeing people's stuff.
Yeah.
Is it time?
I guess so.
All right.
I like it better with water.
Okay.
Which tends to affect my score a little bit, not necessarily for the better, because I am usually of the mindset that it needs to be good just right out of the bottle. I don't need to do anything to alter it so that I can enjoy it. You know what I mean?
But you enjoyed it before.
No, I did. But I enjoyed it more with water.
Right. So your curiosity made you want to try that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
And it's been a while since I've had anything where I've gone, I can do something with this. You know what I mean?
It kind of makes sense, though, because going back at the beginning when you said I think you said your favorite or one of your favorite weeded products is Maker's Cask. And that's usually around 109 to 112, something like that. You probably proof that down to about 115, 110.
But even still, I mean, I've had WLWs that I have loved at a higher cast strength. It's just this one in particular wasn't doing it for me all the way through.
Yeah, I get it.
So, I don't know, man. What do you give it on the nose?
4.
3.5.
I love this nose. I could smell it all day. It is a strawberry shortcake to me with some Hershey fudge dark chocolate drizzle. I love it. I love the finish. I'm finished the nose. I love the finish.
You're jumping way ahead.
I'm all over the place right now.
You're tensed up. You need to
I know.
ease off a little bit there.
Yeah, 4.
Yeah, I'm sticking with a 3.5.
Okay.
Again, infatuated between like and love.
Right.
The palate does jump up to a 4 for me, though.
So I'm going to reverse 3.5 because I love it at the beginning, but it dries too fast for me. Like, I want the palate to be a little bit more notes of what I was getting. I love it. It's better than average, of course. But yeah, 3.5 just because I think it dries a little bit faster on me than it does you.
Yeah. Finish is just a straight up 5, though.
Same, 5.
That finish, even with water, it holds up.
Yeah.
I mean, it really does shine through.
Mm-hmm. It's like it dries on the tongue, but then
wild.
like down in your throat and your chest and stuff, it's like it keeps going. I don't know if that makes sense. Like it dries my tongue, but then like I get flavors on the finish.
Yeah.
And it goes, and like I can feel it in my chest, and I just want more.
Yeah. This is definitely I want more of this in my life.
Yeah.
Pour. Maybe not exactly this. I mean, that's kind of how I feel about it. I don't know if I would. I mean, I would take it, but it's not at the top of my list for limited releases that came out in 2022 that I needed a bottle of. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you this. The limited stuff you've had, you're in a raffle and all these are priced normal. You got WLW sitting there. You've got the Parkers. You've got maybe the Heaven Hill 17. Whatever. It's a raffle. Your first, second pick. All these are available. Where does this fall as far as your choice? Like, oh, you may pick the Parkers first, but where would you pick this or something like that? Because I feel like it's hard to judge. I mean, yeah, for the MSRP of this, it's a great buy, but like most of us are getting this in a raffle or something like that.
Yeah.
Based on your top picks, and then they're all in a raffle, and they add this to it. When are you picking this?
At the highest, probably number 5.
Okay.
Parker's first.
Right.
Unforgotten. Russell's 13. Curiosity makes me want to put George T. Stagg from last year at the number 4 spot. And especially based on feedback from other people, too, who have just loved it.
Yeah.
And saying that, it's the return to form for Stagg and everything. So I'm probably forgetting something else, but I'm gonna sit this at a pretty solid 5 on my list.
I put 5.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as price go, I'm putting 5.
Oh, you're putting I was putting it at when I would pick it.
Oh, God,
on my list.
That's
what you asked me.
I know, but then you said a 5, and I was like, I started thinking
number 5.
I started thinking of price.
Price was a 4 for me. I think consistently, the antique collection is very much worth its weight. But I still think that you can pound for pound find better values on the market. Yeah. I think that Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, kind of sits in that same realm, but you have the added impact of ECBP coming out with 3 different batches per year at $70 a bottle.
Yeah.
And it's 12 years old, age stated. I just think that if you're looking for something that you can feel more justified with the purchase of, I think that Elijah Craig Barrel Proof kind of ticks all those boxes.
Yeah. No, that makes perfect sense.
Not saying that, the antique collection doesn't have great products in it, but
you have more chances to get a great product than you do the antique collection.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure.
If I'm just looking at it from a raffle standpoint and it's priced at MSRP, and that's the only way I'm doing it, I got to give it a 5. Like, I think that is, because I would even pay more than the $99 for this.
I mean, I would probably pay about $150.
Yeah. God, that'd be a steal.
But no, I mean, like, that's approaching my upper limit, though.
Yeah, I know. I get that. I mean, it was a 17.5 out of 20.
I gave it 16.5. I mean, it's...
Drop the mic, WLW.
I've talked about my issues with it. I don't think it's perfect. I think it's very enjoyable. And I think it's something that when you have the opportunity to take this and break it out for other people. I mean, this is a very...
Split it. I mean...
Oh, for sure.
Get
for
4 of your friends and y'all... I mean, if you got to go to secondary, you got to go to secondary, but split it. Like,
I think... each get, like, what, 4 ounces?
Quarter, yeah, a quarter. Each get a quarter.
Yeah, exactly.
I think this is a great... Go in with your friends. You want to have a bottle share. You want to have a tasting. Y'all go for it. Like, I mean, not all of us are going to be able to just drop the $1,200 or whatever it is on secondary. But, if you split it, I say all power to you.
And
I think it's worth it.
If you do drop $1,200 on the secondary, you are part of the problem.
I think you're just doing what you want to.
Actually, no, I agree with you.
I know. You do what you want to. You get a bottle however you want to, and you enjoy the fuck out of it.
Who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
This is a good whiskey. It's a good bourbon. And is there an award for this? Hey, this gets the best BTAC that Tim Bip tried of 2022 award. Because it's the only one. Yeah, so WLW. Best 10-bit BTAC this year.
Where's my marker? I just had my marker. I got too much crap, Eric.
No. You use it. I wouldn't call it crap. There's everything on this you could use. Even these empty sample bottles, you can reuse them. Nintendo, you got Nintendos over there.
WLW 2022. You're the best.
You're the best BTAC that we've tried this year or last year.
We can't do a shot out of it.
No, I'm not going to do that.
Well, we don't have any left.
Here, I'll shoot the rest of this.
Don't do that.
No, there's seriously nothing hardly left. And I'm going to enjoy this last sip of WLW.
Thank you for reminding me about the trophy, too, because I would have forgotten it.
That's good.
Anyway. Do you have any high proof hot takes this week?
I kind of said them on the Patreon, but old people who drive their buggies down the middle of the parking lot, like I hate it, but at the same time, I can't wait till I get to that age to where I can do whatever I want to, and I can ding cars and I can do shopping carts however I want to. So I get pissed. I get pissed when you're doing it, but also I respect it. So it's a high proof hot take, but respect it.
That can be a hot take if you respect something that somebody does.
Yeah, because,
you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like it doesn't have to be inflammatory.
It's almost like I'm jealous. It's like I'm jealous. Like
I wish you want to be old.
Well, I want to be able to do whatever I want to do in a parking lot.
You want sympathy.
No, I want people to get pissed at me, but also know that they can't do nothing.
Well, that reminds me of that that TikTok I sent you of the older gentleman who's on his walker and his grandson's like, "Can't you go any faster?" And he literally just like books it down.
Yeah, he's like, "You know what? Yeah, I can."
He's like, "You've been able to do that all along?" He was like, "Yeah." And he's like, "Why didn't you?" And he goes, "I want people to feel bad for me."
I'll play it up. I'll be the old man.
It's funny. It's good stuff. Yeah, I don't have any high proof hot takes. It's been a good week for the most part. Probably stuff I can't talk about.
Yeah. Don't worry about it.
Do your work.
Oh yeah, do your work.
Do your work. Yeah. Tips and bits.
Tips and bits.
We're gonna recommend some things.
What do you got?
Week.
You go first.
Ooh. I got a couple of things. Let me pull up my notes. Hopefully all my notes transferred over to my new phone. Okay. Where'd he go? Where'd you go, dude?
I came back. I went and changed.
It's rough and rowdy Eric.
Let's go, brother.
Rough and rowdy Eric, how's your week been?
Oh, brother.
Oh, man. I'm sorry to hear that. Do you think they're going to give...
One hell of a week.
He's not done yet. Sorry, I am Rough and Rowdy Eric's official translator, so... See, here's the thing. He's upset that she's in the hospital, but I think she's going to get out. Do they think she's going to get out soon? Look, you can't complain. You should not be complaining about the hospital food. Well, somebody else that you love is in the hospital, right?
Yeah.
You know, regular Eric works in a hospital. Do you have an issue with that?
Yeah, brother. Very visual episode here. So I'd go over to YouTube if you want to know what the hell's going on right now.
Almost as good as Little James.
Hey.
No. No, that's cultural appropriation.
I know.
Oh, man. Okay. Well,
back, baby.
Tips and bits. I got a couple of things. I know that last week I recommended an awkward YouTube channel, Vic Berger.
Oh, yeah.
Was that last week or 2 weeks ago? I can't remember. It all kind of runs together.
Either way.
I'm going to recommend an awkward YouTube video.
Oh, no.
It's a TED Talk by a guy named Benny Johnson.
He sounds like a preacher. Benny Johnson.
Not quite.
Pastor Benny Johnson.
The TED Talk is called Find Your Inner Scientist.
Okay.
And he's... it's so bad, man. He basically calls himself an internet scientist, and that the internet is his laboratory, and that's where he does all of his research and experiments and everything. It's so uncomfortably awkward. I mean, like, there's a sequence where he goes through a bunch of memes and he asks people in the audience, have you made one of these?
Oh my God.
It's brutal.
I'm very intrigued now.
It's brutal. But it's very awkward. Vic Berger actually did do an edit of it. So
nice.
The unfortunate thing is that the edit is not too far off from how awkward the original is.
Okay.
So
he just ran with the awkwardness.
Kind of. Yeah. You got one?
We'll
bounce back. I like this bouncing back and forth with tips and bits thing. I think we're going to do that from now on.
I watched the first 2 episodes of The Bad Batch, season 2.
Oh, I haven't even finished season 1.
Oh, you got to.
I need to. I know I need to.
I think there's not anything like that blew me away, but it was a nice, what am I trying to say? It was nice to see like the animated show with like just the fun action stuff. Cause we had been watching Andor and all this, and
gotcha.
It'd be kind of serious, kind of like, character work and stuff like this. And now we're just getting like, the Bad Batch is jumping off cliffs and trying to fight people and stuff like that. So it was fun just to get back to that. It was it made me feel like a kid again.
Nice.
So yeah, I'd recommend, if you haven't watched the first season and you like Star Wars, I'd recommend watching The Bad Batch. And then if you watch first season, first 2 episodes were really good.
Nice. I will jump over to a book, which I really, really enjoyed. And it came, so on last week's Patreon episode, I talked about my only resolution for 2023 was just to say yes to being more creative. Yeah. Like any creative opportunities that come up. And so I listened to this book by Elizabeth Gilbert, who actually wrote Eat, Pray, Love. But it's called Big Magic.
Big Magic.
And it's about overcoming certain adversities in pursuit of creativity, right? And it just was like the perfect time for me to be like, oh, I need a little bit extra encouragement towards doing creative things. And let me tell y'all too, Eric and I are working on something that is not even bourbon related, but it is going to be one of the most creatively satisfying things that I have ever done.
It's going to be so fun.
It's going to be great. And I talked about this on my live stream last night too. My goal is not necessarily to put out a bunch of stuff this year. It's just to pursue it. And when the time is appropriate, then I will release it, because what we're working on is not something that we can, pump out and get done in a week or 2. I mean, we've got a long road ahead of us with making this thing happen. And I'm so excited for it, but there was this part in the book. It was super, super short, but I think the thing that struck me the most was Liz Gilbert was talking about her creative process and, what she does to kind of encourage creativity. And she referred to something that Einstein actually did when he was working on some of his more elaborate theories and scientific.
Gray hair.
Oh, it's the gold standard, right? But when he was working on things that, he needed more space and time with, and couldn't quite get there, he would play the violin, play sonatas on his violin. And what he called it combinatory play. And so it's basically just using other outlets of creativity to encourage the thing that is your main goal.
Nice.
Right?
Yeah.
So I'm very fortunate that, if I'm going to get into writing something, I can take a little bit of time and play guitar, and maybe that's going to help me figure things out, or like just meditation kind of in general.
Yeah.
So it just was kind of, I needed a little bit of like a goal, a guidepost for getting through some of these creative things. I mean, I have a bunch of like irons in the fire right now as far as what I'm trying to make happen this year. Some of it's a little bit short term, some of it's a little bit long term. But as far as like the energy and the excitement that you and I have for our project, I'm so excited about it. But I'm also giving myself like space to be patient with it too.
Yeah.
So much of what I do creatively, I'm like just wrapping out very, very quickly. Just as soon as I get inspired, I get it down, and then I move on to the next thing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So, but this particular thing is going to be bonkers. And
I mean, I was laughing just based on what I was.
My pitch to him
for the opening scene
about it,
or segment
scene. Yeah. So that's my other tip and bit. Do you have anything else?
I watched a movie that I'm not going to say much about because I want you to watch it. I don't think you've watched it yet. It's called The Menu.
Oh, with Ray Fiennes. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've not gotten to watching it yet. I really want to.
Just came out on HBO Max. Horror / psychological thriller. Takes some turns. Some very like awkward but like awesome moments where just the actors are just doing their thing. I don't want to go into any of it until you've watched it, but I highly recommend watching The
Anya
Menu.
Taylor-Joy's in it, isn't she?
Yeah, she was the one that was in the girl that was in Last Night in Soho or whatever it was.
Yeah, and the chess show on Netflix.
Yes. Great stuff.
I can't think of it. It wasn't.
I don't know.
It was set in Lexington. Why can't I think of the name of the show?
I didn't watch it.
It was really good, man. Oh, it's so good.
So good. The Menu. Watch it. We'll talk about it later.
Okay. Well, I'm going to try to figure out what this show was called. Oh, wait. Hold on.
Put the pieces back.
Chess is too hard.
Chess is not checkers.
That's my king.
Checkmate or not.
Check me softly.
Okay. Are you cheating,
Taylor.
or is that just something in my butt?
The Queen's Gambit. There we go.
Gambit. Did you hear about that one time? That thing where that guy that was winning all those chess matches, they deemed him a cheater because he had something in his butt, and somebody was sending him a signal, and it would like vibrate and stuff when like to do the move.
That might have actually been in the Queen's Gambit.
I don't know. I heard about that, and I was like, "What the hell?"
That's crazy.
Anyway,
I love that.
Tips and bits. Don't cheat at chess. Just play.
Just play chess.
I don't know.
Even if you're bad at it.
I don't even know the rules. I'll play checkers, and you can just beat me. This guy will jump over this guy. This is a horse. Knife beats horse.
I got
the queen. The queen is actually dead. So
anyway, I think that's about it for this episode, isn't it?
I don't know.
I think so. Do you have anything else to say?
Yeah, but if you want to hear it, you can go to patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast.
Oh, okay.
For as little as $1 a month, you can support the show. But at $5, you get all the bonus content. You get Sampling Irresistible. You get Pours from the Floor. And you get the new show that's going on right now. You get Mutant Madness Training Day. Denzel Washington makes a appearance.
This camera's crazy. This isn't even the back camera. This is just the front one.
That's nice.
Look how clear it is.
It is. Good camera.
Dang.
Way to go. You got a good phone.
Okay.
It's better than your iPhone 4.
I had an 11.
If you want to, it might as well be a 4. But yeah, patreon.com/mybourbonpodcast. We got so many bonus things there. We interact with people. You can get on. If you want, when we do barrel picks, you can have the first chance to get that. It's just a great thing to do. It helps us. It helps you, keeps you entertained, and it keeps the lights on. That's all I'm going to say. If you want to send an email to thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com, that's where you just send us an email. You want to ask a question, you want to ask us to review something, you want to ask us to pair something, send an email to us. thisismybourbonshop@gmail.com. If you want some merch and apparel, it's bourbonshop.threadless.com. If you want some Whiskey Mutant merch, can't get any because I pretty much don't have any left. So we'll talk about that later. If you want to get on the barrel ring segment, yeah, you can suck it. But thank you if you've ordered something. I appreciate you. If you want,
but you can suck it.
Yeah. There's a segment we do called the barrel rings where you call in. You leave a voicemail, and we play you on there. You're like the third host for that one little segment. And then whatever you say, we'll reply back to, or we'll judge what you say. 859-428-8253. Call that, leave a message. You're on the podcast. If you want to go to social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, @MyBourbonPod. You can follow Perry at PRitter1792. You can follow me at Whiskey Mutant. All the socials, send us a DM, ask us to do something, like, share, all that stuff. We got a Facebook group.
We do.
This is My Bourbon Podcast Facebook group. You can go there, answer some questions. We'll let you in, and we post show updates. Perry posts when he's going live and what he's doing live. And then people just post memes. Swan, the other co-host, he'll make people mad, and that'll be on there. If you want
when's his hot take month? I can't remember. Is that August?
I feel like Swan's just he's a hot take year. He just does whatever he wants.
He's the hot take king.
Yes. If you want to go
that hot taking what?
Wings.
Hot taking wings?
Wings. Yeah, hot wings.
Fair enough.
If you want to go to YouTube, This is My Bourbon Podcast on YouTube.
Stupid bit.
Perry goes live every Thursday at 8. This show right now that you're listening to, if you want to see us and you want to see what's going on, go to YouTube. It goes up. It may take 24 hours for it to get posted.
Golly, that pissed me off so much. I had to, okay, hold on. Let's talk about this. Hopefully, the video is up on time this week. I'm trying to make an effort to make sure that there's that grace period.
Though, right?
No, I don't know whose fault it was.
YouTube.
But
it's that intern.
No, I think it actually might have to do with our internet. Like something.
You got a new phone now. Just
maybe it was the YouTube
phone.
intern. Yeah. I can't do that. That's crazy.
Dry.
Maybe I could. But I'm so sorry that last week's episode took over 12 hours to upload to YouTube. That just like I had to go to work. I had to go to the office and I was sitting there just refreshing the page going, is it done yet? Is it up yet?
Does it show people that are waiting on that like it does on the live? Because shout out to you if you were waiting for 12 hours to get the YouTube.
There were plenty of people who were waiting for it.
Yeah.
But I just feel bad that it took so long. But I did a cleanse on my computer just to make sure things were running properly. And it seemed like that kind of helped a little bit. But also, we are not getting the internet speeds that I pay for.
You know what I think we should do?
What's that?
To make up for that, and just in case it happens again, we should do a still, be silent, give us our best face, and people can screenshot that and use it as their computer background. We just made them a background. So 3, 2, 1.
There you go.
Yeah. Save that. So put it as your background. That's your gift.
Screenshot something.
Yeah. That's your gift for having to wait so long.
Congratulations.
Yeah. So, and just tell people about us. Leave a review on anything, whether it's you can leave reviews on Spotify now, right? Never mind. You can go to Apple Podcasts.
Just
ratings. Leave a 5-star rating.
But here's the thing. So we're running this promo right now where we're trying to get more reviews and everything during the month of January. If you are outside of the United States or you are not using Apple Podcasts and you want to leave us a review, take a picture with your phone, a little screenshot, DM it to us at My Bourbon Pod, at Whiskey Mutant, whatever the crap.
Yeah.
And we'll keep you in that giveaway.
Yeah.
I mean, there's no reason to
take a video of yourself going, "We love Timbip."
Yeah. I love Timbip.
I'll post it on my Instagram.
You want to hear some reviews?
We got a review?
We got 3 new reviews.
Let's go.
Y'all thirsty for some bourbon samples. First one comes from Hags. Great show, 5 stars. Love the show, guys. Informative, funny, surprisingly investigative, uncovering Tony pursuit. And a great way to spend my drives. Keep up the great work. Thanks, Hags. Next one's from Mike Green.
Oh,
our buddy Mike.
Yeah, I know Mike.
Very important. 5 stars. Podcast has many leather-bound books and smells of rich mahogany.
What?
It's an Anchorman reference. And the last one's from Eberts J.
What?
Eberts J.
Okay.
Great Bourbon Podcast, 5 stars. Eric and Perry kill it by discussing bourbon pairings, and other interesting and relevant topics. All done very casually, as if they were sitting on the couch across from me. Great show, and keep up the hard work.
Speaking of couch. Oh, speaking of killing it. That's right. I wish I had a soundboard. I'll just be like...
I don't trust you with a soundboard.
I don't think it'd be a good idea. I think this is the year. Well, we've talked about this. I don't know if our little desk is going to make it. Should we set up like a couch setup?
When the time, yes.
Okay.
When the time comes and we need to reorganize the studio, we will have something better. Less.
Oh, faithful right here,
less
baby.
This, more this.
Oh, faithful.
Yeah. I mean, I'm ready to chuck this thing to the curb.
Yeah. Well.
Mostly because the chairs are just...
Oh, my God. My butt hurts
weak as crap, dude.
My ass.
I can feel the bones in my butt.
Right that's why if you look at I'm doing this, I'm going,
No, I'm constantly adjusting. Yeah. Well, we need to go give each other butt massages. So
it's that time.
It's time to
we're like 9 minutes late for butt massage.
So late. Thank you guys so much for watching, for listening. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Like the video if you're watching on YouTube.
Yeah.
Tell your friends. It's the best way for us to get recognized.
Write a letter.
Get I almost said letters. Get new listeners.
Send us a letter.
Sure, send us a letter.
Not an email, a real letter.
I would love to get a physical letter.
Yeah.
From somebody.
And then they sign it with a kiss. And they do that like that stamp that's like wax.
Yeah.
Like the Scarlet thing. Is that right, Scarlet? I don't know.
See you guys next week. Until then, I'm Perry.
I'm Eric.
And this is My Bourbon Podcast. Don't scissor me.